Guys, he'll open. Raise your hand. Keep him up for me for a second.
How's everybody?
Good, thanks.
Well, I think the approach that we're taking on this bye week, and we'd like for all the players to do the same, is, look at what we do this week, what you do personally, individually, as well as collectively as a unit and as a team, is to use these days as an opportunity to improve and get better. And that should be the mindset that you go out there with. Because if you don't have that mindset, you don't have a purpose. If you don't have a purpose, you don't have very good mental energy. If you don't have very good mental energy, then you put yourself in a position to create bad habits and maybe even put yourself at risk, in some cases, because other people are trying to do it and you're not going as fast as they're going. So, yesterday was kind of a tough day for us, outside, but today the energy and intensity was a lot better, the execution was a lot better, the tempo was a lot better, so we probably, made some progress from yesterday to today. Tomorrow we'll probably start a little bit, each day, we kind of focus a little bit on, an opponent that we have down the road. So in this case, we got Arkansas, Tennessee, and now Texas A&M. All right, so before we have another bye week, so we spent one day on each of those teams, and tomorrow we'll spend a day on starting with that A&M as well as to do fundamental work. So nothing to report other than that, and that's kind of where we're at.
Start over on the right with Charlie.
Just wanted to ask you about Xavier McKinney. Just what impresses you about him and his approach to the game?
Well, X is a really hard worker. He sets a great example. He's always full speed ahead, and how he practices and how he tries to do things. He's very focused, in whether it's meetings, walkthroughs, whatever it is. And I would say that, him and Anthony Jennings have been, our two most productive players on defense, so far, this year. And I think both of those guys are, guys that provide really positive leadership, for us. But, X sets a good example every day. He's obviously talented and explosive, but he really does try to do things the right way. So, and I think he's made a tremendous amount of improvement. He's a lot more confident than he was a year ago, and not only what he's supposed to do, but how he's supposed to do it and why it's important to do it that way.
We'll go in the middle here with Michael.
You spoke a few times this year about the high number of snap counts. What do you see on film that can cut down on those 88, 86 snap games?
Well, a lot of it is just mental errors. You got to get off the field. When you get opportunities, get off the field, especially on third down. We lost contain on the quarterback 2 or 3 times on third down where we had people covered. Just keep the quarterback, make the quarterback throw the ball from the pocket. Other times we make mental errors, whether it's gap control or how to fit plays. So, the responsibility for the guys on the field when you're on defense is we got to get off the field. So get more turnovers, get more third down stops. Responsibility for you on offense is stay on the field. You're supposed to, end every possession with a kick, but you also want to extend those drives as much as you can. Try to score every time you can, whether it's touchdown, field goal, and it's going to be out. Sometimes when we have to punt, and we're smart and they do things to take advantage. So, but you want to try to keep the ball when you got it on offense, and you want to try to make plays on special teams that are going to score or set up a score or control the vertical field position in the game.
Stay here this side with James.
I noticed you've had Jordan Battle as kind of a single high safety in some dime looks over the last couple games, and Jared talked about his communication yesterday as well. Just how much trust do you have in him from an execution standpoint and a comprehension of the defense standpoint?
Well, he's a very bright young guy. He really picked up on what we do very quickly. I think he played in a really good high school program at St. Thomas where he was, probably well coached by a lot of good coaches. So I think that probably helped his development when he got here. But we have confidence in him. He doesn't make a lot of mental errors, and he's a good football player. He's a good tackler. He's instinctive. So, and I think he'll just get better and better.
Right on the left with Mike.
What is the status of Will Reichert and where he might be trending for next week's game?
Well, we're kind of holding him out this week until Monday, so we think he should be ready for next game, but, you know, these things are all day to day, and nobody can predict exactly how something's going to heal up, so, you know, we'll find out on Monday.
Up here, up front here with Kurt.
Coach, I know you were a coordinator once upon a time, and you've hired a lot of coordinators, and I wonder if the role of coordinators has changed over the years, and if so, in what ways, if they have?
I don't, I can't speak of everybody else and what they do wherever they are, or how coordinators are managed in other places. I don't, all I know, my experience when I was a coordinator, you know, I did what the head coach wanted us to do. I tried to put a plan together and teach the players so they could go out there and execute it. And there was never a time when I was a coordinator that I didn't call all the defenses, which is what I allow our coordinators to do here. They call the plays, they call the defenses. I make suggestions, you know, kind of in between series or whatever, or, you know, help with adjustments. And that's pretty much, you know, what the head coach did when I was a coordinator. So I really can't say. I think there's probably, because football has sort of evolved into being a spread type game, where in the old days more people did the same things, if that makes sense. You know, I mean, there was a time when 90% of the people ran I formation, you know, 20, 25 years ago. So now the diversity in what you see on offense is way greater than that. And I think that because of that, maybe sometimes, you know, coaches hire guys because of their expertise to go ahead and do what they do on offense or defense or vice versa. And maybe that's changed a little bit because the game has gotten so much diversity that there's a lot of different moving parts and a lot of different circumstances. But we have not changed and gone in that direction in any way, shape, or form. You know, philosophically, we try to do on offense what we have the players to do. Our system is, you know, geared toward allowing them to do that, so we can adjust and adapt it. And you know, same thing on defense.
A couple more, Tony and Steve.
Is the competition at punter between the two guys we've already seen, or could you see a guy like walk on like Ty Peary into the mix?
Well, everybody on our team competes. So, but the two guys that, you know, we have an expectation should compete and do the job better are the two guys that have done it so far in the game. But I think everybody on our team competes.
Finish up with that, Steve.
Have you kept your guys from buying into the outside noise? Like what do you guys do to keep your guys from keeping the clutter out?
Talk about it just about every day. And, you know, you kind of, you know, ignore, you know, some of those things because I think humility is very important to paying attention to detail and doing things the right way. I don't think it really matters at all where you're ranked or rated right now. It only matters when it's January, when the season's over. That's all that matters. And it can slip away very, very quickly. And as it did this last week, it wasn't even because the team didn't win. It must have been somebody's perception of how they played. All right, so it's not even about winning. It's about how you play. And I think every player creates value by being his best every time he gets the opportunity to compete. The scoreboard shouldn't matter. Who you're playing shouldn't matter. And where you're ranked shouldn't matter. And what somebody says on the internet shouldn't matter. So you should be playing because you want to get the self-satisfaction that you know you did your best to be the best you could be. And hopefully that's what we can get our players to focus on. Sometimes we've succeeded at that and sometimes we haven't.
Coach, we got one last quick follow-up, if you don't mind.
Do you have an update on DJ Dale, and are you guys maybe taking a cautious approach with him?
He practiced, let's see, he practiced one day, and then we didn't practice him today, and he'll probably practice again tomorrow or maybe Friday, you know, so we're kind of doing that with, you know, several of our guys this week.
All right, Coach, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.